Good morning. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State session to this intermediate training session. As I told you that I will be making several episodes on the Olympiad Games. Today, I selected some interesting games of including world champion Magnus Carlsen and our rising star D. Gukes and some interesting games of Mohamed Yarov and others. To begin with, let us start with Magnus Carlsen, white. English opening. So he is welcome to Queen's Indian or Bago Indian now or Queen's Gambit. So Black decided to play solid Queen's Gambit decline. Now the set of boxing is over. So it is an Indo-Indian defense. Magnus plays the Leningrad variation. Normally the Leningrad variation was played earlier. Not, it is not so popular nowadays. But Boris Spassky, Viktor Korchnoi, Jan Timman were among its followers. It is interesting, but it doesn't promise clear-cut advantage in opening. Now the standard theory is to play bishop into f6, bishop f6, queen f6, and black will prepare next c5 and getting good equal chances. Now black white plays bishop into f6 and then queen f6, but here Magnus comes out with a different move, bishop to h4. Now the standard bishop into f6, queen f6 is nothing more than equal. After bf6, queen f6, e3, c5 is just equal position. So now since black has not taken, I mean white has not taken, black must play g5 now. After g5, he can even take the c4, and I think the chances are equal. But black played very passively here. Yes, sir. The g5 was in the order. Okay, I will show some games after this. Now, after castle, it's now very easy. White now takes the grip. Context on. So e3. The position has taken a static character in the center. Now the bishop on b4 is doing no harm and it has to lose back, go back. And now c5 is not encouraging, creating a fresh weakness in the black camp. Okay, the position is solid, but it is passive. Now this is very unsure about himself. First black plays bishop d6 back, and then again bishop return. So wasting too much time with the bishop. He has made already three bishop moves. We have a character of a queen's gambit exchange variation where he has wasted two moves. Now, of course, it is a known fact that knight h5 is a blunder. Knight h5, knight into d5 means picks up a pawn. So you can't play knight h5. So white has time to play h3 and save the bishop also. Now the white position is clearly better because he has to exchange the dark square bishop sooner or later, and after that, no, there is no easy and minority attack he has to watch. White can prepare for b4, b5 also. So white has two different plans. It is not good idea. The only chance now black should bring knight to e6 and try to play g6. Okay, then g7 and try to exchange the bishop. Then he would survive. This is only way to survive. He has made already so many mistakes. At least he has tried to exchange the white square bishop. Then he can survive for and give more resistance. But beginning on the queen side, excellently played by Magnus. It looks that you are weakening the d pawn, but white has so much activity. White all pieces are so active. Black level little time to work on the d4 weakness. Now queen into d4 is unplayable. After queen d4, knight f7. No, sorry, knight f6 check, then knight f7 or bishop check and winning queen. No, 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 no. I think I'm making a mistake. Now queen d4. What did I see? What did I see? Just a minute. I think queen d4. A simple rook d1 will be crushing. Simple rook d1 will be crushing. Rook a d1. Now the king is in jeopardy. Black king is bad. The center is bad. Yes. Hello, Subankar. Good morning. It's now very easy because white strategy that to advance the pawns, his pieces are centralized. Black king is bad. It is practically over. Practically, the game is won for white. Okay, it's very natural and correct. I think it's time. All over now. Post. Now the hardly can meet the mate thread. Wonderful. Now if he moves, if he moves, if he takes king into, I think queen check is just finished. Queen h4 check is finished. It will lead to mating attack. What a beautiful move. Anyway, it is lost. It is not that now after this he played this move. It is, but anyway the position is hopeless. Something like f6. Let us say he plays something like f6. Bishop into f6. Queen check. Once again queen check. It's hopeless position. So he resigned after the move. BFC he resigned. Beautifully played game played by Magnus. Let us see now some supplement games. What after the line after this he should have taken this. And what happens? We come back. Let us see couple of uh, games again. I think I did not save it maybe. I did not save it. Yeah, it is there. So G5. Now black has initiated. Black has initiative now. No other move. Then see the position is terrible for white. White queen is on the side that he cannot attack the black's weakened king position, and the pieces are underdeveloped. So it was better that he should have played G5. Magnus' opponent should have played G5 and got this position. I mean, this position would have come. This is the standard reaction in the Leningrad Dutch normally. Let us see two more games. This is Grigory Sharper. So after BH4, G5. No hurry. There is no attack by white on E4. Bishop to D3. He can play knight bishop into C3 check and knight to knight giving bad double pawns. Now this is also failing simply RB8. Now the point is now queen check bishop D7 bishop D7 and he will pick up the knight and rook is falling. Lost. Just a piece down. Not enough compensation. So his black played very passively. The G5 was the right way. Now let us see yet another game. This is no. G5 one more. This player Patlakov GM. Now of course knight into bishop into C3 and knight into G3 is positionally little better, but black thinks that his chances are more than just a bad pawn structure for white. On rook C1, white will drop a pawn. After rook C1, simply queen into A2, one pawn down, followed by bishop C3 and queen exchange. It is somewhat a eco variation of that Cambridge spring. Now rook C1, he will play queen into A2 and next move is C3. So necessary. We have got a Cambridge spring type of position. I don't see that white has compensation for the pawn. Okay, black is little behind in development, but white has so many weaknesses. Desperately, white wants to open the position forced. There is no check available. In answer. The point is that now white has to displace the black queen. Then only can open up the game. And now it will take him a long time to remove the queen from that spot. Ruthless. He is ruthless. after taking, all right. So I will give go to another game. In the Magnus opponent played the passive move at castle and went down instead of playing the active g5. Now let me take you to the second game of today. Caruana versus Yilmaz Mustafa. Young grandmasters go for the modern, the English attack against Nasdaq. Now g4, b5. Now it has to be seen the pawn's turn who comes faster. Both will try to attack each other's king. The pawn's turn and sometimes a piece sacrifice to open a line. Objectively, white is little better because of the d5 weakness, the d6 weakness, and also white pawns are more dangerous, well poised to attack. Now knight 8 is too terribly passive. Knight 8 is terribly passive. One of the strategic object of white in such position is to bring knight e to knight g3. When black takes, then white opens the h file easily. Or he will get a miserable pawn structure. One of the idea is to play any to ng3, slow but effective. But here, because he avoids this line, queen. What else? Now bishop into c4 is not effective because it is not opening any line. So I give the reader some time to think how should white play. Please stay. I am giving you 3 minutes time. So please come up with suggestion. How should white play? Take your time. White plays the incredible knight a5. The point is black cannot take it. Now the simple threat. Now white is preparing to play bishop b6 and thereafter white is preparing bb6 and black will have nothing. Or knight c6. There are two threats. Knight c6 eliminate bishop b6. Rook b8 doesn't work. And rook b8 doesn't work. So queen into knight. Queen will get trapped. After queen takes knight, bishop, and the queen is trapped. Unfortunately for black. So good move, knight a5. Well, these are all home preparation. There is Nothing amazing in this. First, you have to stop NC6. This is necessary. And now ND5. You are obliged to take bishop into knight. There is nothing better. And now the knight is protected. There are C4 pawn, A6 pawn, then D6. The knight on H5 is estranged. The position is gone. And grabbing the G5 pawn is suicidal. You are opening the G file for white. This is the one. But now it's very easy. Equal material, and now the end game is lost and the middle game is lost also both. Well, when the player is strategically outplayed, 99% cases they resort to tactics because they know that the end is coming for them. So they want to throw their last punches before death. Tactics. Well done. Very well played. Now the point is, white need to attack the black king. The knight must join. The last minor, the only minor piece. After pawn into pawn, rook g1 is coming. And after rook into f3, queen e1, queen e1 is winning. Now, for example, pawn into pawn, rook g1. Now, queen must maintain the e7 control. He cannot stay in the diagonal. The h4 and d8 diagonal, and now rook into pawn, queen to e1. It's all over. We lose material and also attack. So, unfortunately, does not work. And after the only move, you protect e7 square. Now, well done. Knight into pawn. Unfortunately, pawn into e4 loses to knight g6 check. Pawn into e4 loses to ng6 or knight g6 check picking up the queen. Knight f7 check picking up the queen. Only move. Safest way. Now the game is already won for white. No need to speculate with rook g8, some sort of back range. So all over. He can't play pawn into e4. Only move. The last bullet is over. After queen into knight into queen, white will have two rook and betting threats. After knight into, white has got two rooks for black's queen and a betting threat also, and lot of weak pawns. I don't, I doubt he can survive this. There is no chance. Okay, so this is bad. So after this, design. Now rook into knight met by rook into knight met by rook to e8 and king. Then you have got check. Finish. So it is actually well prepared, and I really liked actually. I'm sure up to knight f5 it is all preparation. It is all home preparation. But after this, this is all over the board and punishment. It's a nice game by Taviana Caruana. Now I will tell you how he could have played. For example, now many people will ask, now black is all set, f3. Now why not open up the game? Somebody may ask, why not d5? This is not. because agreed that he will get rid of the weakness and weak square, but it is bad. Bad to pieces. Take. Now, castle, bishop and knight. Because already he is so much behind in development. Now this move, he can have f4. White has many ways to open up. You can play here nc5, and so that double bishop with advantage 3-2 majority. A technical plus. You can play nc5, bishop into, and white is clearly better. This is one. Even a position, suppose you take bishop into knight, on into, and now f4. Now maybe here bishop e7, now f4. It's not easy, not easy. Or you come knight to c6, knight to c6, bishop to b6. The position is very difficult for black because when you will castle quickly, rook at penetration to d7. Now just white needs only two moves. Move the bishop and then rook e1 or double the rook on d5. That is the reason that a player, the many people may think why he should not play d5. This is the reason that it turns out badly for him. Take, and now this is plus. Or you play mc6 plus. Bishop and knight also is not good. This is also bad. And also, suppose you play knight bishop into, in case you play bishop into, now c4. This is also a bad position. Okay, he has not given double bishop advantage, but this is also bad because this is the king is running around. It is not good. After king c7, I think f4 gives advantage to white. So black should give up the idea of opening the position like d5. Now the next game is so Wesley. Hello, Vivan. Congratulations, Vivan Vishal Saha, champion of Gujarat State Senior. And we are all proud of you. Under 11 national champion and now Gujarat State champion. Very good. Keep it up, young man. Now this position. Now I will go to some Karokan. Karokan. So obviously I like very much because of his originality. He is able to create a lot of interesting positions over the board and very good in his basic understanding, fundamental understanding of lot of positions. So let us see. So Wesley versus. This is the line. Normally here you find D4 is the main line. Other than that, we have got this is called the two nights variation Karokan, and in the early career Fisher was following this. This is very solid. Also a funny trap. You can play some Queen F3, Queen F3. This is bad because if you play D4, then Bishop C4 white is better. But you need not play for Queen F3. You need not play D4. This is bad. Knight f6 is not possible, and d6 is bad position. Knight e2, but black will have a very safe move. E6, and then knight has queen is misplaced. After e6, the bb4 is coming. Queen is misplaced. That is why you should not play for traps. Oh yeah, okay. Let us see this game. I will tell you the correct path for black. The reason I picked up it is not the best way white has done. So what the correct way I will discuss how black should have continued. Okay, this very simple way. Want to castle quickly. On d4, knight d1 will come. If black plays d4 and d1 will come. Pawn into. This is a nice way. The reason is if you play rook d1 directly, you may play pawn d4. That is why pawn into pawn, and now d4 is met by knight e4. That is why the correct move order, and white is enjoying space advantage and advantage in center space and open line, and particularly the knight on d7 is redundant knight. This is this is redundant knight. That means the knight on b6 will be miserably placed. You have to again waste time. Black must admit the error, must go back and come, losing two vital moves in the opening stage. Center fully mobilized. Unfortunately, this is necessary. If he will insist knight b6, he will get nothing. From now, the knight will be very poorly placed. White will have a very quick attack. Just bring the rook back to e1 or king g1, rook g1 and g4, smashing in tall style. And that pawn storming, so he has to come back all set perfectly. This is what I like about So Wesley's game. He knows the piece position and pawn structure, and is able to create lot of interesting original mating attacks, or you can say snaring mating net, mating patterns, regrouping the pieces back. Now black cannot tolerate that white is building up inch by inch, so it just opens up desperation. Now this is terrible now. Now, as Vivang Vishal Shah told, now comes rook into e4. Unfortunately, this deadly move, he cannot accept the rook. After this, pawn into king Ganpat ho jayega. Now took, he cannot take it. Queen into pawn check. Oh my God, where did this come from? Now check, now check, now check, now check. Over. And then bishop checkmate or rook checkmate. So this move, so Wesley, opponent GM, you see. Now this is too much. Rook into. Now look into. So he cannot accept that. Cannot accept the rook. I think now the development, material and space, everything is in favor of white. No counter play for black. Already one pawn down. Well, what else you can do? So, just open. This is anybody can give. Any average player can find this knight into. Mate is coming. Now rook into f8. Then or queen g3, queen g4 is crushing. Another punch. What a punch after punch. Because queen into will allow bishop into g6. Bishop into g6. It's time over. Because after now this, some check, and next he will get bishop check. Bishop f6 check, bishop into g7 check, rook f7. And so how white got so much attack? Because black lost two vital moves. The main problem is, okay, I will discuss how he should play. I will tell you, the line is solid. I have great respect for Karokan. Karokan is one of the most reliable opening, and it has been played by all the world champions, right from Steinish to Carlson, except one, Bobby Fischer. He never liked because he thought that Black is trying to draw. So Fischer was very much against this. Only Fischer did not play Karokan. I don't know whether he could have played in the Simul, but every world champion, Anand had in reporter, Carlson, Kasparov, Botvinnik, Smyslov, Petrosian, Tal, everybody. So Karokan is most reliable, and the typical error that he has done, we'll see. Now let us see how a good game played by Mamedyarov on Karokan. Same position. Will take you Sakarier Mamedyarov. Okay, maybe notation also no harm. So everything is going that way. Now Bishop C5. Here, knight. Instead of the earlier one that he was playing this move, of course, here knight f6 is also possible. Knight f6 possible. Knight d7 possible. The point now the point is this is the idea. In c6 and e5 it takes charge of center. I think this is a bit over optimistic. The whole point is white likes to play f4, knight d2, knight f3, building up. This is not the time to build up. It is the time to first complete development. ND2 was the need of the hour. Bad move. Where was threat? Protection. Okay, I have to do that. I think this is underdeveloped. Now the threats will not be so dangerous. The d5 f5 square has become weak, and white is underdeveloped. Black is for choice. No, he will not repeat. After the just check the intention. Now, if you play again ND6, he may not repeat the game. Okay. Of course, the C4 has to stop. Clearly better for black. The reason is the D2 bishop has no scope. Normally, the two bishops needs open position. Here, the D2 bishop no scope. The E3 square weak, and also D2 D3 pawn weak. So black enjoying. There is no particular king side attack plan also because you can't play prepare E5 with G4. That is rash. The center is gone, and now the wind is blowing on the other side. गंगा उल्टी चलने लगा. Sack is coming. It's finished. So, so I would say this is a more solid way to play the Karokan, the two knights variation. The other ones, for example, here you can also play NC3, BB4, H3, takes. Now you can play E6, E6, DE2. Now you can play here knight F6. Maybe you can play here ND7. With the idea, now if you play D3, now he will play BB4. Now BD2, now play this, and now knight here, take. Then you can prepare to play e5, c5, and end it and e7 and c6. The old style. This is olden day of playing. That is why there is an improvement in the variation. I must tell you now. Now instead of this one, instead of be2, now you can play here a3. Why a3? The whole idea, not the bb4 is necessary. Black wants this setup. Pawns are in dark squares. Then his black square bishop will be not having scope. That is why he comes bb4 and get rid of the bishop. This is an idea of the former world champion Vasily Smyslov that stopped the whole variation. bb4. Then you can continue the normal way. Tarot exchange variation with the g6 and bf5. Okay, I will do that provided I get time today because my contest is Olympiad games. So I will finish these games, and if there is further time, it needs at least good half an hour. So Rath, I will explain to the audience in another class because I will not be able to finish these games and then so. Maybe tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, how black should play, explain Karokan, exchange variation with G6 and BF5. Okay, all right. The next is Sindaro. Sindaro, very young boy from Uzbekistan, who made a combination that four grandmasters could not see in one tournament, and only if that combination is very interesting. I hope I'll get it and show you. Okay, here So Wesley is white and Sindaro black. So this is not the right move logically, objectively, but this is going to distract the opponent. Now, if you play h6, the position of king castle will compromise. So he ignores the right thinking. The flank attack, I mean, is normally countered with central or vice versa. Now white is trying for the flank, so black should destroy the center. Not the best way. I would say that at the moment, still correct is just play bishop g7 because that's why you will take it. You can't give an exchange sack at so early stage. So bishop g7 was called. So it is taken a character of Benko Gambit, accepted. E3 variation. 5 E3 in Benko Gambit. White is all set. Extra pawn. Yeah, okay, that h4 weakness you can't do anything at the moment. And one solid extra pawn. Right move. Then b5 will cover up everything. Depending. On queen g4, king to g2 is just good enough. King himself is a great defender. King here, king himself is a great defender. If you play, it's simply king g2, not allowing queen to h3. Okay, so first he attacks. Now queen h3 is of course there, but knight f4 is pushed back. After queen h3, knight f4, first to defend. Now the end game is bad because black pawn structure is terrible. So no hurry. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now he goes for the pawn. How should white play? How should white play? I am giving you 3 minutes time. It is very interesting. Please think. How should white play? Rath says NC8. It is NC8. What you mean is knight C8. Yeah, correct move. After knight C8, the position is hopeless. Rook is attacked, and there is a knight E7 threat. Desperate. Now the threat of NE7 and threat of knight. Two threats at same time, and after rook into knight, he loses material. He will lose material because rook into knight will lead to mating attack. Check. With the idea, next rook into F8 and rook check. The direct threat rook into F8 and rook D8 check, and or a direct double the rook, not rook 8, because he can escape via D6. Double the rook. Come on, sir. Helpless. Finish. Beautifully played by so Wesley. But however, I think the whole idea is dubious. This is a dubious idea. Instead of playing this, after this, it should simply play bishop. Now this is not coming. We have to play knight c3. Now it will turn out to be a regular game. Only thing he has got a position out of book. But that is not the case. He should play this way. Plan. Just bishop g7. Now you can continue. I would say that here you can play d6. Now e4. Now you can play here knight to a6 nc7, trying for the b5 break. Now e6 is also okay. So this is not a great move. Okay. Next I will go in the line Mamedyarov versus. Now direct d4, white must be ready for galleries. If you play direct d4, this is okay. Now now here maybe you can play e6. This will create trouble unless, because now the pawn cannot be defended easily, since the next threat is queen c6, attacking the rook and the pawn. So of course, white can play this move, and after queen, white can play queen e2. This is a whole lot of theory where white is having a small advantage. I mean, the among the white side, I would say Victor Kostonai is a great exponent of white side. So here he avoids all this and plays the simple safe e3 and standard what do you call semi-terrace position may come. After e6, d4, d5, it is a semi-terrace. White is slightly better. After he can repeat, copy. This is semi-terrace. Okay, slight better for white. Plus equal. Place here a6, which is not correct. Not correct. Now there is no semi-terrace. That a6 move, and it has become a waste of time. He can't play b5. It has only weakened the b6 square and waste of a move in the opening stage. So Mamadia Rao played very nicely, punishing and getting opening advantage. Not correct. The position, when player has a good position, he should open the game. I mean, his center is good, his pieces are more active. Here, white is more developed, white is more ready for activity. So how dare black open the game? Not correct. Not correct. No, d4 is also white bet. He can play d4 also, but that will arise to pawn into b4, etc. So he plays the safe move. The idea, the c5 pawn. Now b4 will be bad because c5 is under double attack. Now still b5 is bad. After b5, after b5, you can take knight into and bishop into or knight into will lose. Then pawn b4 is coming. Pawn b4 is coming. Okay, knight into is not possible, and bishop takes c5, bishop e4 is coming. So b5 is not possible because the c6 knight is hanging after that. The right way to punish the adventurous a6 is punished now. Very well played. Sekhar here. No castling. No castling. Next move d3, rook e1. I think it is a very bad time for black. The countdown has started for black now. Now the stage is prepared for how to attack the king. White has given the material to just rob the castle chances, and he has got it. How should white play now? Please think for 2 minutes. Hello, Pallasa. ba3. No, no. That is a good move, but that is not dangerous. You can easily protect that. ba3 is a good move, but Now this is okay, but there is something stronger. B4. I want to open the position, not giving time. On bishop A3, he can play queen to C7, or he can defend that easily. So immediate opening position, immediately. When you want to punish the opponent, don't give him breathing time. Don't give him breathing time. Rath plus Anjipai. No, no, no. You trying to, he's just opening up. The whole point is now the bishop C4, it is deadly. You see, this is deadly. This is deadly. Now this bishop must come into life. Then it is all over. And we give a small investment. We have given the exchange sacrifice to achieve this. Give one pawn. It is finished. Now queen c7 will be terrible. After queen c7, you take now pawn in, knight into pawn into queen c1 and bishop a3 is unstoppable. Now queen c7 is not working. He will take two times on c5, then queen to c1. It is all over. Okay. I doubt if you will survive. Five white pieces are in the fray. Two swords. Sword number one. Sword number two. Sword number three. Not sword. You can say bhal. इसे वाला और इस इतना सब अटैक में कहां से जिंदा रहेगा. Fantastic game by Sakaria. Deadly move. Check. If it is a blitz game, it is worth putting queen into. If it is a blitz game, if the back rank is cleared, rook into f6 and then queen will come quickly. d2. We have 4 queen into pawn. This is deadly. But it is a classical game and a respectable tournament, so you play coolly. Forced, otherwise knight for. Doubt there is anything. But the finish is cute. The finish is cute, so I will continue. F5 pawn double attack. Ripe apple, it will fall one by one. पका हुआ मैंगो जैसा एक एक करके गिरेगा. Nice move. Now the back rank. I don't want to play some S3, G3. King, no back rank and no rook entry. Of course, there are many other ways to win, but this is fastest finish. Check. The point is now, if he takes the bishop, he will lose an ending with the bishop ending with 3 pawn down. After queen into rook check, knight check, any move, knight into king into. Now this is not worth 4-1, eh, on the king side. A nice game. Right from the move rook c3, where is the move here? Rook into c6. Right from the here onwards, the game is exemplary. Rook into, and this is all series of force moves. Fantastic. Well done, Mamariaro. Played like a real 2100, 2800 player. Now, basically, the opening and middle game phase is not interesting. Okay, I'll show that. But after 40 moves, the end game becomes very interesting. I'll show that anyway. This is a theoretical position. This is what you call, it is So the English, Sicilian Nimzowitsch colors reversed. Now, if you want to avoid, then knight c6. Then knight f6 will transport to the reverse Sicilian regular. It is, it is advisable black should play here knight here. For example, in the variation e4 c5, knight f3. This is Nimzowitsch. Now original line goes here, then this, then you play knight, then play e6, you take, then you play d4 and c6, take, queen d5, queen b6, bishop d3, and white is theoretically better. White is theoretically clearly better. Lot of piece activity. This check is meaningless. After king to d1, not king e2, king d1, I think deadly attack is coming. So instead of playing all these things, modern players play here. They simply play here knight c3. Simply knight c3. Then you have nothing better than transpose into d6, e6 or nc6 where white will open up regular line. But in the given position, we have got same thing reverse Nimzowitsch system. It is better. It is better black should play knight c6. Now after knight c3, knight f6, d4, it will transpose to regular line. But not advisable to open up. Bhavani Padi, welcome. Vigna. So he's challenging him to play the same way. Now, White is challenging to reverse Ninjo's setup. Good move. This is the problem now. Black has pushed the overextended e4 pawn. Forced now the center. White has taken charge of center, on total control of center. And not only that, that black queen side is under down. Again, against the basic principles, he must realize that okay, black is a GM, but you cannot go against basic fundamental rules. You have to complete development before undertaking action. I would say the D6 move is called for to control F5 square. This is necessary to complete development, slow and steady, but this is over optimistic. I think plus, apart from now that you will get double bishop, two bishop advantage, and also center. Well played, excellent move. Plus minus. The position is plus minus. Forced we can, and the position pawn structure is bad and center is bad and two bishop in open position. White can confidently look for victory. Going away from rook's line. This is actually bad. Already a bad position just for a tempo. It is advisable to go back to ND7, play little passively. But this move will the root cause of all his problem. Further aggravate his problem. This is the problem. Check. Now bishop. Check. Only. Now there is a problem. How are you going to protect? Now the attacked bishop has moved. Now both b7 and b7. The only move is rook. And after this, this is a loss because now the bishop dominates the knight. So we have turned out to a king pawn endgame with that double pawn for him and active king for white. The knight has no move. The point, white black will run out of pawn moves. You just wait. You will run out of moves when the knight will have no move. Just run out. Just king g2, king f2. So as h5 has to be played. Zugzwang. Only king move. You keep moving. Now f6 pawn will fall. If you play b6, then king 2 d4. Lost. Okay. So the next game. So we come to Siro versus Bukes. When I saw this game, I think I had an echo of Anand Ivanchuk, Ivanchuk White, Anand Black in the match 1990, 91. I think. Both the players, Anand and Ivanchuk, they were coming up very fast in their career. And the whole world just was watching. One of them will become world champion. Likely. Unfortunately, Anand lost to Karpov in the quarterfinal when he missed a mate in two and he missed easy winning chances in the match and lost to Karpov. So also, Ivansu was easily winning against Yusufu the quarterfinal candidates and he lost to Yusufu. Completely winning position, he did something too much and allowed an attack and both of them were eliminated from the World Championship cycle. Then Louis Rentero, as great sponsor of Spain, arranged a match to find out who would have been the better bull for the World Championship title. 8 game match, Anand defeated Ivanchuk 5-3. In that, in one of the game, Anand as black had played a game, echo of that game which I saw it. So I will show you this game and that game, both. Alright, the game is taking a quiet character. So Sirov is playing cautious, not allowing any tricks. I mean, bouquets because Sirov is a dangerous player. So this is a Keras system of Royal Lopez. Keras used to play fifth move and in c3 and then exchange one of the black pieces on f6 or e7. Objectively, white stands better, but his rook g1 move is not to the point. The position, instead of rook g1, he could have played as well knight into f6. Then it is a nice position. I think that the position is little better for white after knight into f6. But this is something is very interesting but bad. In in an open Sicilian, this is okay. No, whereas Siro has used it against Park, and in open Sicilian, this could be okay, but not here because the center is closed and there is no particular activity of white pieces. Only the knight is there. So we cannot come on the G7 weakness. Black is now already little better. Little better. Overprotected, and now white is feeling the heat on the F line. Now black simple plan, double the rook, then now knight F3, F2 pawn. So he brings back over. No, this is really, it is imaginary now. Now that the king, queen side, there is nothing on king side, because if you double the rook, NG5 is there. So he starts trying to open up the queen side. Good move. This natural move is the end of the game. Now the position already it is very bad. Already there is nothing on king side. Now h4, h5 is not coming. f4 break is not coming. So it is better that he should quickly play king b1. Try to hide and open up the game with rook back to c1. It is better. Now black white should try to survive with king b1. In case of b4, you will take it. And now c5 I will open. Of course, that is also not so good, but that is probably best under the circumstances to save your skin. But so I think Lucas has calculated very well about the break. I'm sure he has not overlooked. Excellent. Now on queen into pawn, he found this excellent defense. The point is after queen check, queen b7, queen into d6 is unplayable. Queen d6 is unplayable on account of queen g2, queen b2 check and knight check with a winning end, with a winning position. So not advisable to go for this. And here he can check queen, queen into queen, king into. Now what's the king? What's the black king? Now knight. These are all very natural moves. That needs no explanation. Now the king. Now the king and these two pass pawns, the black king and the two pass pawns along with rook and knight. They start rolling. In the Anand Ivanchuk game, there are no minor pieces but king and two pass pawns and rooks. Welcome to take knight into knight and take. No problem. The threat is rook check now. Finish. Now there is nothing stopping D2 designs. You can see the king and two pass pawn. I will go to the game. I have so referred to you. World Championship file. Anand was black. 1992. I guess this is the game I am talking. Yeah, this is a similar echo. I mean, game of Mukesh and Shiro, echo of this game. The ending. I'm talking of the ending. The point is here the standard move, like there are lot of moves. White can black can play B7 short castle, black can play A6 BD7. From outward, it looks good for white because black pawn structure is bad. But if you look it carefully, if you examine, black has sufficient counterplay because he can create two pass pawn in the center in the ensuing end game. He played this. In the game continued this. Takes. The point is, as long as the bishop is there, the black's activity is based that this he should come for the bishop and make the break. As long as the bishop is alive, black doesn't get good square. So he is exchanging the better bishop. Actually, the pawn's mobility of the white bishop is not so good here, going to the own pawn in center. Now, black exchanges his good bishop for the bad bishop of white, but he will get lot of square like S3 and C file for operation. Good move. The point, after the move, what Anand had in mind, now the black pawns, white pawns are not moving anywhere. The king will come to E6 and a D5 break is imminent. So ultimately two pass pawns will come in the center, preparing a D5 break. Okay, doesn't matter. Finally, he has created two pass pawns. And the execution of the game is also excellent. Now look here, he is giving a threat. The threat is bishop into e5, then rook f5 into e5 and winning the bishop. So you can't play king e6, b5 wins. Rook b7, anyway b5 wins. Because rook check, king d6, rook e6 check, and he'll pick up the bishop. So well played by Anand. Go away from the fire. Now white is ready to return material. White is ready to look into pawn, and after that he will comfortably take a6 pawn or e5 pawn. So stops that plan. Back. Very well played. Now the pawns will start moving with the help of the king. Very solid. There is a threat. Bishop e5, bishop d4, and mate threat. Excellent. After rook into e4, bishop block mate threat and mate threat at 2 points. A1 mate and c2 mate. Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. हाँ जी, हाँ मैं मेल में फिलअप करके और मेरे को हाँ जी, थैंक यू अनिल सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच. Sorry, it was a call I could not avoid. Okay, all right. Here now made threat at 2 points. Lost. Okay, you could avoid all these things. You could avoid all this. Now, for example, you need not do that. There is nothing I can do. The whole point is now the pawn is coming. The pawn is coming. E4, then bishop B coming slowly, slowly. King and two pawns. He stopped the advance of pawns at the cost of his king. Excellent game. All right. Then the next one from Olympiad game. दो तीन गेम है. Okay. So independent variation. Normally, here in this position now, here normally knight f3 is the standard line. White plays the main line knight f3 because knight c3 will allow e5. Knight c3 e5 is interesting. This is e5 will come and black has a comfortable game. So normal standard line is knight f3, and after that you can play semi-Slav, you can play normal Alekhine variation. There is anything pawn into pawn you can do. This is the standard line. But here this young Iranian grandmaster has got a different idea. This is also not bad. Now this is the whole idea. He has not played an f3 with the idea of f3 g4, striking at center and everywhere space. Ambitious, covering up the g3 weakness. The plan is quick. You want to castle queenside quickly bd2 and castle. Bishop into f4 is not correct. We are giving two bishop and also clear cut advantage to white. So he moves back. It's a rash. But perhaps black was totally unprepared for this setup. So it's understandable. Now the tension, the g5 tension will always worry. The h8 rook is unprotected, and that in some variation he will have the problem because of that unprotected rook on h8. This is the point. This is the point. Now the bishop on h7 he cannot function because the rook is, that means he has center and e5 threat is coming. Now pawn into pawn is bad. Pawn into pawn he can take knight into, whereas he cannot take bishop into, and if now e5 is threat, what to do? Forced to move plus minus. So many things are at the target. The g5 point, and he is watching the d6. The a3 a6 knight is unprotected. The knight, if knight b4, b4 is just winning. Bishop b4 is crushing, overwhelming. Take and one piece down because the queen cannot stay in the diagonal because both e5, f4 and g3 is to all control. The queen cannot stay in the diagonal and the knight is lost. Knight is lost. After queen d5, queen into c7, simply a piece down. So the whole idea it is interesting, but I cannot say that this is advantageous line. I will discuss since I have got three more games, two more games with analysis. I will not be able to cover. Another day I will cover this line, how to play with the black side. Okay. Just a minute. Grandmaster Alexander Baburin is a veteran and he has written nice books like Pawn Structure, and also he is a very good exponent of Alekhine defense. White can play here knight f3, b2 and castle, get an advantage. White has two choices here. He can play c4 and then pawn into pawn, followed by knight c3, knight f3, b3 castle, white better. Or alternately, he can play here knight f3 and then b2 and castle with white get definitely little better. Now he can choose g6, then bishop c4 can come, or he can do bg4, then b2 and white is little better. But the Iranian young grandmaster had different idea in mind. Four pawn attack. In fact, four pawn attack it is double edged. I mean, black has also chances. No, the critical line is that after pawn into pawn, f into e5, c5. Now this e6. Now the queen check is coming. Queen check is coming. If you play now, you have to stop. You must not allow the queen check and queen. I will give you two games. One is Bronstein versus Lubozovic, and Yehuda Grunfeld versus Lubozovic on the same variation. Now after NC3 controlling E4, pawn into pawn, C4. Now the bishop is like what? Now bishop takes pawn. Idea takes queen A4 check. Queen check is there. So discuss. I will discuss those two games first before coming. Let me show you those two games first. Is F4. Now, here, first I show this game. The reason I'm showing this game, there is one interesting part of it that Lubozovic was a very talented grandmaster from Yugoslavia. Lubozovic, and he was supposed to a good potential candidate for world champions, but he lost this game to Bronstein and got eliminated in the interzonal itself. Very unfortunate. A great talent. I mean, he won one tournament with Kasparov and ahead of Kasparov. One of the most dangerous player having initiative. If he had initiative, he was a very furious man, a very terrific player. Now, if I necessary to control E4 square. C4. What else? You have to stop. Bishop into pawn fails. The threat is now bishop into f3 and queen check, so stops that. The d5 point is attacked. So, in return for the pawn, black has got some overextended pawn of white and he has castled. But white has g5 and center. In fact, black made a lot of improvement. Let me show you the game first. Now, whole rook. White is giving the whole rook, but there will be no time. This is the point. The point is now the knight is entering. Apart from the threat of bh6, bishop f6, queen h6. Apart from that, the knight is entering the fray. F7 point also. The here the queen to c5 is not working. The threat of queen c5 idea, queen f2 check fails to knight e4. This is difficult now, very difficult for black. And over. Rather forced, net threat. And after queen d3, after queen d3 check king f2. No check position. The point is now if direct queen d3 check king f2, why black does not have decent check. And he won. White won the game. But the point is the why Lubozovic found an improvement and he waited for 6 years. After analyzing the game, Lubozovic did not repeat that game, this variation. He waited 6 years that someday somebody will play and he will unleash the improvement. And after 6 years, he got a customer. He got a customer, and that was Yehuda Grunfeld. He waited 6 years. So, who is this? This Lubozovic won 2 games. It was 73 and 79. Everything is forced. G6 has to be played. Forced. Now takes. He took it. Now this. This is the improvement. Now the improvement came that he had gone to queen to c8. Now in this position he had gone after the move he had went to queen c8 and lost eventually. An improvement. This is the point. Black is rook up, returning some material. The art of defense. Now returning the material. That f6 point is guarded by knight now. That means he will return the piece. He will exchange up. Instead of being a whole rook up, now pawn into d7 replaced with another knight. Pawn into d7 he will replace with rook e8 to follow. Just simply returning the material. And white is obliged to watch the f2 square. Well played. Return the whole rook back and winning. Now the end game is lost. Now black is two pawn up and there is no attack and I think it is winning. It's all lost. Capitulated. Very soon he consolidated in one. So 6 years he waited, did not play that game. I think it is interesting because what happened in that game, Nobuzumi versus Jarju, because it was 73. I did not see this game. Okay, he did not do d6 and winning. There is no time because now check, only move, check, and it is over. Okay, this is different. He didn't play d6, but after the move d6, there was a fantastic improvement. Okay, I leave this line. Go to Baburin's game. Cover up quickly two games. Alexander Baburin. Where is that? The point is, if the move d5 is not desirable, bg4 with counterplay. Then e5 point will be very secure. After d5, bg4 coming. Now the material is equal, but white has more space and comparatively more active pieces. Rook c1 has a very solid move. He has protected. White has 3-2 majority and better pieces. The wide open center. Go away. He can't stay in the diagonal. You must allow to castle. Very active. Young grandmasters, they don't play mechanically. No, machine like play. Now bishop d6 can come. Plus minus. Very active pieces. 3-2 majority and good control of open lines. The prophylactic move. Unfortunately, bishop is running out of good squares. After bishop e6, bishop c4 will come. Then the f line is problem. Threat, threat, threat. Now mobilizing slowly and steadily. Black's king side is bad, weak, and his queen side is also bad. And unable to bring any kind of threat on the white king. So it is a very bad position, plus for white. The simple threat is bishop into c6, exchange it, and with a winning position. Where are you going? Eh? Exchange the queen. Lost because now bishop into c6 is coming. There is no rook cannot coordinate, no rook e8, nothing is coming. Lost. You must lose material. And king e f7, king f6 also f4 pawn. Completely lost. Well played by the young grandmaster. One more game. Main line of Ninja Indian. There are two lines. Ninja Indian classical Queen C2 is one and D3 is the second line, main line. So E3, BD3, knight F3, main line. Okay, on E3, knight E4 is not correct. Here, E3, this is not doing any harm. You can play BD3 also. You can play knight F3 also. Knight E2 also. This is doing no harm, no great danger. So, queen C2, that means castle. Knight F3 is the standard main line, but this is also not bad, not allowing double pawns. Queen B3, necessary, center pawn, white stands better. The center and space, white is having an advantage. So, black has neutralized the diagonal at the cost of time. Space, good move. Now it looks like that black will get the pawn back because C4 pawn is hanging. Look. Now there is a threat of B6 trapping the bishop, but in fact that is not really a danger. So he simply coolly defends the B3. Now pawn B6 not working. A4 A5. A4 A5 will release the bishop. 4 A4. Now if rook to A8, knight B5 and then A5. Next move A5 will free the bishop. One sound pawn up. The A pawn will fall anyway. He can't defend that weak pawn. Good move. Not giving bishop into knight. Not a fantastic bishop, only material now is forgetting going for attack. Excellently played. Check. Finish. Very instructive game. It is a very instructive game. And now it will collapse because now three heavy pieces and the wide open king position. Somebody will think that black has not castle. Somebody, if he sees the diagram, he will think that black has not castle. He is not defendable anymore. So he resigned. No, one way I resigned. He is not defendable. After here, he has a knight to d4. You can play nd4 here, knight d4 here, rook g6 here. This is also possible. This is also finished. Anything. Okay. So here I have covered. I don't think we will have time for one more game. So thank you very much, friends, being with me. I will be back tomorrow same time for the part 3 of Chennai Olympiad games. I will cover up some Indian Grandmasters games. Let's see, and some interesting games with theoretical updates. See you again tomorrow, 9:30. Take care. Bye.